We're going to talk about 3 faux pas today that I see happen a lot across social media with a lot of people, whether it's just a simple, YouTuber trying to get their channel up, whether it is a different kind of content creator, or whether it is someone who runs an online business but uses social media to promote. These things happen, unfortunately, quite a lot. And I'm hopefully arming you with 3 things not to do, and also giving you some ideas of what you can do instead. So we'll get into that in just a minute. I did want to make sure that anybody who happens to be watching this on YouTube, if you find this content helpful, consider subscribing to the channel, maybe give the video a like, comment, that whole thing. So we're going to go into the first of the 3 things that I want to make sure that you guys are not doing as you're promoting your businesses. And the first thing is, don't promote your business on other people's content without their consent. I see this happen a lot on YouTube. And it's not just YouTubers, it can be a lot of people, but you'll see somebody create a video, they'll put it up on YouTube, or they'll do a live stream on YouTube, and you'll see people inevitably in the chat link to their channel or their video and say, hey, here's my video, check it out, or hey, come over and check out my website, right? And that is bad form on social media, because you really don't want to be sort of poaching somebody else's channel or their content. And unfortunately, it can give you a bad look when you don't even mean it to. You're just excited about, seeing this video and letting people know that you do the same thing, right? I've seen it on Instagram too sometimes, where somebody will be doing an Instagram live or Instagram TV or whatever they call it, and people will post the same thing. Hey, come check out my Insta. This is my handle, whatever, right? You never, ever, ever want to do that, because if you start promoting your content or your channel on somebody else's live stream, video, blog, whatever, 2 things ultimately are going to happen. 1, you're probably going to alienate that creator who could have potentially been somebody that may have helped support you or promote you if you had asked. If you'd gone to them and said, hey, I saw what you did. It was really great. I really just admire what you do, and I would love it if you could just check out my stuff. If you had the time, maybe I could come on one day and help, promote your channel, or I could shout you out on my channel. And, if you thought my stuff was good, maybe you could promote me too, right? That's okay. If you're ever going to approach somebody to kind of collaborate with or hoping to promote you, make sure you're offering them value. Give them a reason to do it, because if you don't, you're just going to alienate them, right? And that's never a good thing. It also is important on Facebook when you are watching lives or you are consuming other kind of content, especially if it's somebody in the same or similar industry as you. It's great to go on and be supportive. Now, if you ever find that there's maybe something that they missed, or that there's an opportunity that they maybe didn't put on their stream or their content that you felt would have been really valuable, instead of posting that and promoting your own business because you have that content, what you could do is you could reach out to that creator, that business, whatever, and say, hey, I was just wondering, did you think about this? This might be a really good thing to tell your audience about. And then you can say, I've done this with my audience and it works really well, right? And so that's a really good way to approach that person, because they may have intended to do it and never actually been able to, or just forgot, right? Or they may have never even known to do that, and you might have just provided a lot of value for them. So the first social media faux pas to absolutely avoid is never promote your business on somebody else's content, regardless of platform. Let's jump into number 2. So the second thing you don't want to do is don't copy or steal content and use it as your own, right? And you can repurpose content, or better yet, be original if you can, But if you find something out there that's really great and you're like, oh man, I wish I did that, promote it as this other person's product and say, hey, I found this really great product that this person did. Go check them out because they're awesome. But I thought that you guys could really benefit from this, right? If you copy it straight up, or you take somebody else's sort of intellectual property and you just think, oh, this would be great, I'm going to put this out there and just rebrand it with my logo. Obviously, that could get you into a lot of trouble, one. But two, just as our first example, that's a really bad look for you. That will alienate you within the community, whether it's content creators or wherever you took it from. And if your potential customers ever find out, because they may be following that other person too, that could really damage your credibility. So instead, what I would recommend that you do, if you don't decide to just straight up share it, but give credit where credit is due, is to take that idea and change it a little bit and really make it your own. Make it something that is unique to you, your style, your brand. Okay. So what that can mean is, for example, obviously in the tutoring business, if you're a reading tutor, you guys can all, your audience will benefit from the same content that another reading tutor's audience will benefit most likely, right? Especially if you're using the same resources. So if somebody creates like a reading list or a book list or something along those lines, take the general idea of what they've done, but create a different list, for example. Obviously, create your own list and have a little bit of commentary about why you think it's important. And if you have a particular method that you use to either to tutor or to deliver your content and your message that's unique to you, if you sprinkle that in there, that's only going to be helpful. Number two, don't copy or steal anybody's content and rebrand it as your own. Instead, either give credit where credit is due, right? Or repurpose it, change it just enough so that the general idea is there because it was a good idea, but you're not stepping on anybody else's intellectual property, so to speak, right? And when it comes to things like Pinterest or Instagram, it can be tricky to know where that line is, right? Because if somebody creates an infographic and you're like, wow, this infographic is amazingly useful, this is phenomenal, that would be a situation where it would be good to reach out to that creator and say, hey, I have a similar market, or I think my people would really benefit from this. Would it be okay if I shared this and gave you credit, obviously? That's excellent, because even if it's a paid resource, right? Because, okay, you're not going to be benefiting from earning money on that product, but you didn't create that product. But what you are doing is, if you think it's great and you believe in it, you are providing a valuable resource to your community. And that is really important, because anything that you can do to add value to your community, whether it originated with you or with somebody else, is perfect. That is a benefit to them. Keep doing that. All right. So the third thing is, don't build your business at the expense of other creators. Okay. And so the big thing here is, don't drag down or disparage somebody else in your same industry or a similar industry, or that your community might follow, right? In an attempt to make yourself look better. Now, this is not as likely to happen in the tutoring industry, but where it can be dangerous is if, for example, you're talking to a client or a prospective client, and they say, "Oh, I went and I tried this solution and it didn't work, or I wasn't happy, or oh, I went to this person and it just wasn't the right fit." You don't want to be like, "Oh, I know they're terrible, their methods are flawed. Great thing that you came to me." The idea that you never want to build yourself up at the expense of somebody else, because that will get around the community and you will not get any friends, and you want to be able to collaborate. So the second part of that is to build a strong collaborative network, and to find networking and collaborative opportunities where you can work together to build both your businesses. And finding a success partner is one of the ways that you can go about doing that. So finding somebody who is in the industry and is either maybe at the same level as you, or even a mentor who's already been where you want to go and who can help you, that can be a huge thing. And as you start to collaborate with more people and you realize that you're not going to potentially lose clients, and therefore you want to insulate yourself because, oh gosh, what if I lose a potential client to this other person that I'm collaborating with? No, what'll happen is you'll just get another voice, another personality, and potentially another resource that your community, that your people that follow you could really benefit from, and they'll appreciate you for that. So the third thing is, don't build your business at the expense of others, but work and use collaboration and cooperation to mutually build your business together. The last thing I want to say that can really help, one sort of bonus tip for you, is use your picture in your social media profile. Because in most cases, you are the brand, not your logo. Your logo is important and it should be on your social media. But most places like Facebook, for example, have your little profile picture and then it has like the little banner image up above it. So if you're using Facebook and YouTube in particular, consider having your face as your sort of main profile picture. Use a professional headshot or whatever, and then have your logo and your sort of slogan or your tagline or whatever in the little banner image, so that people are getting both. Because in the tutoring industry especially, most of the time you really aren't selling your skills and your credentials. You're selling your personality and your personal ability to connect with your students, right? And so your face is very important. Your face is your brand. So I hope that this was helpful. This was just a very sort of basic overview of three things that you guys might want to try to avoid doing it when promoting on Facebook and on other social media platforms. Don't fall into these traps because they can damage you for a long time. If you're interested in more in-depth stuff or more tips on social media marketing and how to use social media to grow your business organically, and how you can use that to really get a strong market that not only will continue to support you, but will potentially be there to support you for future products as well, let me know. And if you need any kind of review of your website, your social media practices, just any questions whatsoever, reach out to me and we can see if maybe we can work together. And if you need any video work, let me know as well, and we can talk about that as well. So thank you all so much for this. Again, I hope that this was a useful presentation for you, and I will see you guys around the internet. And hopefully in a couple of weeks here, although holidays are coming up, I will be doing some more website best practice as well. Kind of some general tips for everybody that can benefit to kind of make their website really stand out. So take care, everybody, and have a happy holiday.